point is, today in the history of math, top 20, Ramanujan is there. An uneducated mathematical student given the right tools, it changed everything. Let's talk about solutions, because there are Ramanujans in Nigeria.
Yeah.
They are here.
Yeah.
You said 50 million. Brother,
Yeah.
let's get some of these people. A few months ago, actually it's probably been a few years now, I was wondering, what are the best high schools in Nigeria? And I was bragging. I was telling people, Americans ask me, where did you go to school? What's your education? I'm like, I went to Federal Government College, Ijaniki in Lagos. And I was bragging. I said, go and look online. Well, one of the best schools in the country. And then we Googled and I started scrolling. I said, it's a lie. It's a lie. I was not number one, number two, number three. We were gone. Now, there's still some good things happening in my school. Don't get me wrong. But what happened to the rigor? What happened to some of the things? I mean, when I was in Ijaniki, and I'm grateful for every one of my teachers, please. This is not anything against my teachers. This is just to say something has happened where I remember those days. And I really you remember most people wanted to go to federal government schools. But today, I don't see that as much. I don't see parents telling me, I want my children to go to FGC Lagos or FGC. So what has happened, right? Again, that rigor I got, I want to see it recreated. And I want every child to have it. Let my brother talk about his own Port Harcourt. Even though we were better than them, let me just be clear. FGC Lagos, we were builders of bridges. Oh, yeah, go, sir.
What did we build in FGC Port Harcourt? Anyway, yeah. So it was quite an amazing experience in Federal Government College. And just like you rightly said, look, that year, I'm speaking pidgin right now because that's how it's doing me. That year, now who no pass FGC exam? Now in the go private school.
Wow.
Yes. All of us, you write FGC, you write Navy,
military, yes.
You write Air Force. When you write these exams, if you don't pass any of these exams, correct. Navy, Air Force, I think there was another one. Anyway, if you write these exams and you don't pass, correct. Then that's when you now go to private schools, right? And so that was what was happening at the time. So then in my school, we had what I would say was the best of the best. You had the best set of students in our schools. And, so thinking about it and looking at the landscape of education right now, yes. You're right. We have to actually ask ourselves what happened. Right? Honestly, I think there are three things that are important for any nation, right, to actually thrive.
Correct.
Right? Any nation to actually thrive. And this might not be the metrics that you would normally use to measure, a well-developed nation. But I'm saying that these are the things that you build those metrics that you use to measure those nations on.
Correct.
And there are three things for me. One of them is security.
Yep.
Right? Then health. And then education.
Wow.
And we have issues with three of them in Nigeria. But the one that has been slept on the most is education.
Wow.
Why? Of course, we hear cases of, somebody died because a doctor did something that they were not supposed to do and all of that and could make the news or the health space. We have that conversation. We also have conversation about insecurity. And it's just terrible what's happening. Correct. Bandits going and, doing what they do. But because with education, we don't talk about education a lot. The thing about education is that a whole generation is being killed.
Wow.
This is not 50 people that are being killed every day. If you take the number of people who are poorly educated, wow, and number of people who are not educated at all, children, we are looking at upwards of 50 million. And that's the conservative number. I'm talking about poorly educated now, right? The ones that are in school but are not getting good education. Correct. And the ones that are not in school at all, correct. Right? We're looking at close to 50 million out of a population of 250, about upwards of 200 million people.
Correct.
So the question we're asking ourselves is that we are just watching a generation just for want of a better word, waste.
Wow.
Because everybody that can afford a good education in Nigeria right now doesn't plan to stay in Nigeria. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Right. So I can say I've given myself up to Nigeria and I can say that, at least for the foreseeable future, we are here.
Yes.
I can't make that decision for my children.
Correct.
I'm spending money to educate my children, but I can't make that decision for my children. So when we want to talk about these realities, it's one that really goes straight to my heart. Can we even talk about the fact that basic education is now a commodity that is being sold? Can we talk about that?
Wow.
We are selling basic education. That means that if you can't afford basic education, you don't get it.
Can we?
So it's now being sold to the highest bidder. The more money you have, the more quality you're able to afford.
Correct.
I mean, my son goes to what I'll call probably one of the best schools in Abuja, yes. right now. And again, look, I love my son. He's the reason my heart beats, right? And it's interesting to know that as a person,
yep.
if he was just born into probably a different family, his realities would have been different.
Very different.
I would stand at a corner and watch. As I stand at a corner and watch and see all the children,
yes,
just, parade the streets,
yep.
without any form of. So the question, the point is this, and this way I would pause for now, is that the future of children in Nigeria today are being determined by factors that has nothing to do with them.
Wow.
It's not a function of I didn't want to go to school. It's not a function of I was not serious. I didn't make any mistake. I was just born.
Hey, that's serious.
We have a demography that we are supposed to protect as a nation, Nigeria,
yes.
right? And we have children who, just because of where they were born, their realities are already different.
Correct.
And this is happening both in education, security, and health, like I mentioned.
Correct.
But I think that education is being slept on a lot. So we can talk about what went wrong.
Yep.
And I mean, okay, maybe I should just speak about that a bit. It started when I was going to secondary school.
Yes.
I went to secondary school a bit later than you did.
Yep.
And by the time I went to secondary school, right, the idea of government primary schools had already died.
Wow.
So people came in from private primary schools,
yes.
to try to get into the
FDC,
right?
Yeah.
There was just that thought that, when you present your certificate to the universities,
correct,
right, that the universities would affirm the federal schools more and give you admission, and people just felt like there was standard, right?
Yep.
And over time, the next thing that died was secondary schools.
Wow.
Secondary schools died, and people would now realize that, we don't have to go to a federal government college, but the university still had that notoriety of, who will employ you if you go to a private university?
Correct.
Now, our public university, it has also died. That idea has died also. So the cancer started from the primary school. Nobody took notice. Nobody did anything about it.
Correct.
It entered in secondary school. Again, now it has entered into our university systems, right? And so again, there's a lot to speak about the educational space, and then also probably what should be done.
Correct.
Again, we have ideas, and also what we are actually doing.
Correct.
I think we also want to speak about that.
So we can go, I know, for a long time about some of the challenges, and I know people watching might have their own ideas and views on what has happened, but we can all agree that something needs to change. Yeah. Before I actually say what needs to change, I want to say a couple of things. One of them is, I study the history of mathematics. I'm a medical physicist and math and curriculum science writer. By God's grace, we've written curriculum that hopefully will change the world of maths. So stay tuned. Counting to Calculus, Nigerian School of Math. We are working on that. We are doing things in science and math education globally, right? We want to change the world. Okay. Here's the thing though. Do you know in the history of maths, there was a guy, his name was Srinivasa Ramanujan. When I say the guy's name, it just makes me shake a little bit because the guy was something else. But let me tell you what happened to him. His education in the primary and secondary school was rocky. The guy was not even, people would have not looked at him and said, this guy will change the world. But one book entered his life. The name of the book is a synopsis of elementary results in pure and applied mathematics. Ramanujan read the book. Ramanujan started doing math problems. He had a day job in Madras. By the way, I'm telling this story partly because India, we're coming, we're bringing our own support system for your students. I joke and say, India has a part of my heart. There's something there. Growing up, we used to watch Amitabh Bachchan. And so when I think about India, I say, we're coming, right? Because India also has some challenges similar to Nigeria. But some of the people on my team and advisory are from India, and they want to see how we can work together. So I bring up Ramanujan's story because he was a clerk off the port in Madras. He was a clerk. But one of his guys encouraged him and said, Ramanujan, I've been seeing the math you are doing. You should send it to Cambridge. Let them look at it and maybe you'll get a chance. So let me just bring out some life lessons there. Number one, if you have an opportunity to inspire someone to develop the gifts they've been given, encourage them. That guy encouraged Ramanujan. Who are you and I encouraging, right? Mm-hmm. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Let's be instruments of encouragement. Mm-hmm. In the Bible, there was one guy, his name was Barnabas, son of encouragement. Mm-hmm. Encourage others. That's the one thing I don't see sometimes, even with solving Nigeria's problem. You might have an idea. Somebody will now squash your idea. No, guys, we have to be optimistic. Hey, you people talk about America. Let me just say this for a second. In 1776, it wasn't always easy.
Yeah.
These guys had to fight against an empire, and they did it. America was born out of people that were inspired, and they said, we will not stop. In 1812, that empire tried to take them back. America did not give up. Today, where are they? You need to encourage people that have the right vision, go in the right direction. Yeah. Don't squelch their dreams.
Yeah.
That story is powerful, but that's not my lesson for the day. The lesson for the day is he applied to Cambridge. He sent them a letter and said, give me a chance. Do you know that the guy that got the letter is like getting a spam email? He saw the letter, but then he now turned and saw the math problems that Ramanujan was doing. The guy said, this guy knows what he's doing. Please come to Cambridge. If you don't know what Cambridge is where Isaac Newton went. Cambridge is where J.J. Thomson. You will talk about electrons. Hey, that's Cambridge. Maxwell's equation, that's Cambridge. Ernest Rutherford, that's Cambridge. I can go on and on. Cambridge is the powerhouse of maths and physics in the history of maths and physics. Do you know that just from Cambridge, over 30 Nobel laureates have come out of their physics department? How many Nobel Prizes have been given in general? Yeah. And then they now came from there. So Cambridge is a powerhouse. They now gave this man, we'll call him a local champion. The guy came to Cambridge. He started doing equations. He started turning heads. Professors were like, how could you have figured that out? It was Ramanujan that came up with the idea that 1 + 2 + 3 to infinity is equal to -1/12 and tried to prove it. Everybody's like, what is this? That equation is used in physics for certain principles. But the point is, today in the history of math, top 20, Ramanujan is there. An uneducated mathematical student, given the right tools, it changed everything. Let's talk about solutions. Because there are Ramanujans in Nigeria. Yeah. They are here. Yeah. You said 50 million. Brother, let's get some of these people. Yeah. 50 million. So what can we do to solve the problem of like where we've come? We know where we are. Yeah. Remember in the Bible, Ezra and Nehemiah, they will say, look at what our fathers, they look back. Where are we going from here? We must go. Where should we go?
Yeah. So I think I would like to first of all start out by, giving a shout out to everybody who is currently doing something outside of their comfort zone to do something for education, right? Correct. So, for instance, we have the likes of Slum to School, and they are doing a fantastic job. And I want to see all those ideas being scaled massively, right? Yes. We have the idea of Slum to School. We have Teach for Nigeria. Okay. Again, a phenomenal initiative. Correct. We have a lot of churches actually have free schools. Yeah. All right. Like they from the church system, they fund those schools, they pay teachers and all of that, and so we have a lot of people doing, but you see, one of the things is that we need for want of a better word, an approach that sounds like a state of emergency on education. Okay. So this is a state of emergency. When you say state of emergency, it means nothing else takes precedence. Yes. Right. We have to salvage this. So, what I think the solution, I did numbers. So the first thing is, okay, so there are two problems that this has brought about now, or what we have now. So we have the number of out of school children, and dilapidated infrastructure on one hand. But another problem that is a key factor is the situation of our educators, our teachers, right? And for this one, I've been in this space for the past 7 years, interacted with, I remember when I said I was going to teach, a lot of people thought I was crazy. Yeah. Right. Because again, you studied engineering. Yep. Graduated with a good grade. I think I was, some class upper there about a very sweet one. Yeah. Electrical electronics. Not even like it's a Kwekwe electronics or electrical electronics at age 21. Wow. And then you now wake up and say, I want to be a teacher. Teacher Nufeshi, and all of that. And really, it was heartbreaking for a number of people that loved me. And I understood where they were coming from. But the question is, why was it heartbreaking? Why did it look like my life was going to end? I understand why they thought that, but why did it look like my life was going to end? And it comes to, it's just simple, right? There is nothing that we have seen in the lives of teachers that makes it worthy of being appreciated. Teaching used to be a noble profession. Correct. Right? But due to the level of, I don't know if I want to say suffering or, bad conditions is the word I'm looking for, you find out that nobility is leaving. Wow. Right? Your teachers are becoming a lot less noble today. Yeah. Our teachers don't have the wherewithal to inspire students anymore. For many of us, we remember, we can call out the names of one teacher or the other
Mr. Waziri, Mrs. Bowa,
that came out of their comfort zone to pick you up and insisted that your life we don't have teachers like that anymore. Everybody's just there. We are at the survival level. Surviving. So that thing that makes you come out of your comfort zone and reach out for other people.
Yep.
There's a certain level of ease that sponsors it.
Yes.
Right? There's a certain level of ease that sponsors that sense of purpose that you think you have.
Yep.
I know you think you have purpose.
Yes.
Let insecurity reach and let me see what happens to that purpose.
Correct.
Do you understand?
Yep.
Let it be that your children don't have food to eat. Let me see what happens. Guy, you get into a state of frenzy where you're just picking everything.
Correct.
And so the state of our educators is a totally different problem.
Correct.
I work with international schools a lot. Both consulting, I've taught in a couple of them and all of that. I interact with their teachers. And I will say this, that when you have Nigerian educators come into those spaces
yes,
with the right exposure,
yes,
if they do a lot better than the foreigners, to the point that people don't want their children in these classes of foreigners anymore. All that happened was exposure.
Yep.
Right? So I think that we need to fight on two fronts.
yes,
We need to fight for the welfare of teachers.
Yes.
Right. And it's not nice. And again, I'm not trying to put down people that drive taxis and all of that, but
Good.
the average taxi driver makes like 4 times what an average teacher makes, or 5 times what an average teacher makes right now. Right. You know, and I'm talking about the ones that are even paid.
Correct.
Well paid and all of that. So on one hand, we need to create a system that allows us to equip our teachers.
Yep.
Right. Expose them.
Yes.
Like expose them to the world.
Yep.
A teacher should not know how to use the internet.
correct.
A teacher, and you see, so there is training that you can go and do once and leave.
Yes,
But the more important thing is to leave teachers with systems
Yes.
that they continue to interact with, that embellishes them over time.
Correct.
That's how you grow. That's how I grew.
Correct.
So today when I talk to people and people think that, oh, you must have taught abroad, or I remember when I worked in one of the international schools, very funny. But a question I got many times is, what university did you graduate from? Because they did not believe I graduated from Nigeria. Why? Because I was way ahead of people who had graduated from some of these other schools.
Correct.
As it were. So I'm just saying that, for our educators, we must do something.
Yep.
The second thing now is access and quality.
Yep.
And I have a solution that I will share
Yes.
that actually solves all of this problem.
Correct.
Right? And even solves other problems that I have not yet mentioned. So, but we need to solve the problem of access to quality education.
Correct.
Not just access to education. What do I mean by quality education? Let's talk about our curriculum, for instance.
Yes,
Where we are right now in Nigeria, it's very interesting that we are in a nation where a lot of people start primary school can't exit university.
wow,
And the reason why is because, there's not just, a lot of people the number shut things down a lot.
Wow.
Not because I don't want to. Everybody wants to go to school in Nigeria.
Yes.
But the problem is there is no means, or there is no this, or there is no that. But here's now where the educational system is a bit ugly.
Yes.
Is that everything you do in primary school,
Yes.
the only output you get from your work in primary school is that it grants you access into secondary school.
Correct.
You are not a person by the time you're out of primary school. You cannot interact with the world.
Correct.
You cannot write a business plan.
Yes.
You cannot even communicate in a manner that is productive to the world.
Yep.
You can only communicate in a manner that earns you marks.
yes,
So our children don't have anything to offer the world by the time they are out of primary school.
Yep.
The only point you can do with that bit of education, is to go into secondary school,
Yep.
which many children are not assured of getting access to.
wow,
Now, you're not going to secondary school, GS3. The only thing that your GS3 teaches you to do is to go into SS1.
well, yep,
You've done another 3 years. So what I'm saying is that the milestone for productivity is now so far away that many people don't eventually get there.
Wow.
So we need to revamp the expectations of grade 6.
Wow.
Or primary 6.
Primary 6.
We need to revamp. If somebody now manages to go through GS1, 2, 3, the expectations should also be different.
Yes.
If you come out of SS3, your expectations must be different. Imagine nations don't typically grow by exiting from university. I think Nigeria, we are still in that space where we feel like everything was good and rosy back in the days. And so everybody, let's encourage you to go to university. We don't have that luxury anymore.
Correct.
People should be productive by the time they leave grade 9.
Yes.
At the very least,
Yes.
year 9 at the very least.
Correct.
GS3,
Yep.
students should be maximally productive. You should be able to you should have done IT
yes,
as a part of your curriculum.
Correct.
Right? The second thing within the educational space is that our children need to be inspired.
Yes.
I don't know for the life of me why when we do business studies, for instance, our children don't discuss money points. Somebody has to explain that to me. Why our children don't discuss money points. the guys, how they started,
yes,
how they sold, how they raised funds.
Yes.
Why is that not the point of discussion? What exactly is within what are we thinking?
We are very theory heavy.
Just an old theory that doesn't have any relevance today. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, by the time I'm coming out of GS3, right, I should know every Nigerian student, and I'm sorry I'm going to name drop, but every Nigerian student should know the story of Sim Shagaya.
Yes. Yes,
I agree. If you don't know his story, then there's a problem. We have these unicorns out of Nigeria,
yes,
that are not being spoken. And so how then does your child get inspired?
Yes.
There's nothing to inspire them.
Yep.
But imagine a case where these children are bombarded with this kind of ideas day after day, month after month.
Correct.
By the time you're out of GS3, your mind has been re-engineered.
Correct.
And it happens without you even knowing.
Correct.
You know that I am made for more. I can be.
Yep.
That's your mindset,
yep,
right? So a becoming mentality is very important for them. The top thing I think we need in our educational system is we need to represent the story of Nigeria to our students.
Wow.
The version of Nigeria that they are aware of, they don't even want to identify with it.
Correct.
Most Nigerians. But we need to begin to now look. Every country has their ugliness. Let's just tell ourselves the truth, right?
Yep.
And yes, we can say ours is obvious,
yep,
right? But every country has their own ugliness. Now, so where am I going and what do I think the solution is? So I did an analysis for someone, and we're actually discussing, and this is very practical. And you would find out that, interestingly, and this is with me being very generous, that with $40, you would equip a student for a school year,
wow,
with digital learning opportunity.
Wow.
This includes training this at scale.
Yes.
This includes training for the teachers.
Yep.
Right? This includes solar.
Yep.
So we're not doing NEPA.
Yeah.
This includes Starlink.
Correct.
This includes every single thing that we can think of that would help, projectors in the classroom. The entire cost.
Yep.
Remember I said at scale.
Yes.
$40 per year. That means that the bucket of chicken that you ate last week is somebody's 1 year education.
Wow.
And an education in a manner that exposes them to the real world. Because again, once you have the internet,
yep,
you now have that opportunity to be as educated as you want to be.
Yes.
We have taken, like you said with Ramanuja, right?
Yep.
We have done it such that anything you're looking for, how did I get this exposed and educated as an educator? It was through the internet.
Correct.
I never, there wasn't anything else about anything I'm doing by the message of God right now that I would say, happened. No, it was just the internet and just purpose of, trying to just do more and do more. So we have the AI powered platform that we're building,
yep,
that is going to spread, that we hope to spread across Nigeria, and we need sponsorship for. Again, the prototype has already been done,
yep,
and it incorporates everything I've said so far.
Yep.
Systems of inspiration for the students, coursework, learning content. It's curriculum aligned, but it's extended.
Yes.
Right? Extended, exposes them to 21st learning tools and methodologies, all embedded within. And this can be made available. We already have something like a demo version, and it's in schools. You see, we have 500 plus students using the platform right now. But my only pain with that is that the people who are currently using the platform are people who have educational options.
They already have options.
They have options there because they don't. So, but that $40 that we're talking about, or $50, right? That $50 would provide these other schools with those options at scale. So we're trying to work out a system where, in fact, I was talking to one of my investors yesterday, and we're just talking about, and we're talking about the entitlement mentality that a lot of students have,
yep,
right? Because I have it, know, and it's normal to think, because when you think about it, they don't have an opportunity to interact with anybody for long enough who doesn't have what they have.
Correct.
So everybody drives to school in a Prado.
Yep.
So, everybody drives to school in a Prado. The church you go to is only those people that you interact with.
Correct.
When you go out with the same people. You go to do sleepovers. You've never had to sleep,
yep,
or stay in a space that some of those,
yep,
that some of those realities are not. But what we are trying to do is this. I was telling to say, what if your daughter, from the money she's saving in Akolo, sponsors 2 children.
Correct.
And every month she has a Zoom call with them.
Wow.
Do you know what it does to her mind?
Correct.
She feels a sense of responsibility.
Yes.
That, I am responsible. I have done this. I am the rich. You get your test scores. Again, the platform is going to output you. How? And imagine if your child is in SS2. All right. That would be grade 10. Yep. Right? Imagine if your child is in grade 10 and she's supporting children in grade 4 and grade 5, and she has to think of ways to inspire them.
Yes.
Every morning they send a message, hey, how are you doing? We have a system around all of that. And then your child. So I asked him a question, and I said, the $40 your child would use to sponsor that child.
Yep.
right? Or $80 for 2 children.
Yeah.
Does it quantify the impact it's going to have on your child mindset? He said, not a chance. There are many parents that would pay thousands of dollars for their child to think straight.
Wow.
Which is what this is going to bring.
Yep.
And we are saying you can do this for just $80 while changing the life of somebody else.
Yes, sir.
So that your child will no longer be so entitled because they will understand that the things that they had, they did nothing to earn it.
Correct.
And they will understand that there's a purpose for the ease that they have.
Correct.
Remember in the last podcast, I said that ease has a purpose.
Yes.
There should be matching relevance between ease and purpose. Right? If you have more ease than you have purpose, you turn out to be an irresponsible person.
Correct.
And we see that happening a lot. But your child can now begin to have, we can spread out the purpose to let them sponsor a whole class.
Correct.
So when you do the Zoom meeting, you set up the Zoom meeting and then the child is seeing 30 students say, thank you so and so for all. Imagine again the impact it's having in the life of your own child.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm saying is that all of these things are possible. And I would say this finally before I drop to say that, yes, we can think of it like as an appeal.
Yes.
And I get that, right? It is an appeal. But when you really think about it, is it? Many of us, myself included, I got trained in primary school.
Yep.
I got trained in secondary school.
Yep.
I got trained in university for free.
Wow.
Let's talk about it. You can talk about the government all you want, and you can say all you want, but the question is, let's ignore the government. Let's pay it forward.
Yes.
Let's keep the government.
Correct.
Let's do this for our own children.
Correct.
Right? And let's pay it forward to the children who don't have access.
Yes.
Right? To those children who are being deprived from what we benefited. Do you know, I was telling the story. And I was trying to talk to some young people and I was trying to tell them how much things cost a while ago.
Yep.
And I was telling them that I was trying to say, when I was in secondary school, a bottle of Pepsi, I went for 30 naira.
Yep.
That big bottle now, that's 50 cl, right? And as I was just trying to gist with my students and talk to them, do you know what I realized?
What?
That was how my own parents too were telling me how Nigeria was better.
Wow.
I said, God, have I failed?
Wow.
Am I repeating the cycle of my parents? Will I be any better? Correct. When they write the story of Nigeria?
Correct.
And how Nigeria became what it became, would my own input inside,
correct,
let it be that at least I spoke.
Correct.
All right. So again, look, there's what we are doing and there's what we are trying to achieve, right? And I think the least you could do right now, right, is just, while we are still doing the work, just follow our page. Let it be that there are 50,000 of us that endorse this message. There are 50,000 of us that are saying that, we are declaring a state of emergency on the educational system in Nigeria. Yeah. And the least you can do, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just follow the pages. Let it be said that, you lended your voice to this cause. And so that by the time we begin to roll out what our solutions are, and it's not so far, as early as September would have something, you can now begin to say, I reposted it, or I got someone else to sponsor 10 children or whatever. Let us be a part of the solution. And I think that solution is possible. Another thing you said previously is that, I don't know if it was on this podcast or the other one where you said that you were speaking about the fact that with AI, AI is more like, is giving everyone an opportunity to catch up.
Yes. 100%.
Right? So somebody was 20 meters ahead of you.
Correct.
Right? But right now, you can quickly run and catch up.
Correct.
And the platform we are building and we are handing out for free is AI powered.
Wow.
So imagine what it does to teachers. Imagine, there are teachers that cannot even use Google.
Wow.
But are still doing their best to invest in the life of children.
Wow.
Imagine what will happen when you give them ChatGPT.
With that said, so I'm going to land the plane with this because what you said, please, he needs to come back and I'll have Oga Joseph. You should come back and continue diving into this. Let me end with this. And then, this has been a wonderful episode. Do you guys understand that teacher training is completely neglected in many cases?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that there are professions that require continuing education? Like as a medical physicist, they require me every 2 years. Yeah. Sometimes they will make us watch videos and basically try to dissect different aspects, right? Yeah. Like I have to read the latest research in CT, in MRI, in PET, in SPECT, all of this stuff. Anyways, I can go on and on. Medical physics is basically physics and maths and chemistry and engineering a little bit all in one. And one of the things that is important with medical physics is that you must train every 2 years. You must have continuing education. Teachers in Nigeria, here's my plea. We will be like Finland. Yeah. If you are a teacher in Finland, people look at you. Hey, if you are a teacher in Singapore, we will restore that peace. Yeah. In calculus, there's something called inflection point. There is something about a derivative. The derivative has come. We will not continue the way we've been. And this is the era. And AI will help us. Education entrepreneurship has come. Teachers, you can be like a coach, because the knowledge delivery of standing by a board and writing on the board, that there is a place for some of that, but that's not the issue. Inspire those children. Let's raise Isaac Newtons. Let's raise Leonard Euler's. Let's raise the best mathematicians and scientists. And it starts with teachers recognizing, we are saying today, thank you for what you are doing. Let's upgrade your teacher training today. Let's start empowering you the best we can. Let's do what we can with what's in our hand. Remember when God told Moses, what is in your hand? What is in our hand? Oh yeah, let's talk to education. Let's talk to some entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, please sponsor some teachers. We will train them. We will give them tools. Let them go and inspire their students. We will do math competitions of some of those students to now be checking how it's going and the inspiration, right? In our math competition, we'll ask them to write the essay on Isaac Newton. That means that the teacher has taught them about Isaac Newton. That means the teacher has been inspired. So teacher training. And let me actually give you one practical way this can happen. And this is one of the groups that I teach for. I said I was going to talk about them. You know, Graceland College, what they are trying to do, right? I teach at Graceland College. What we want to do is we want to take teachers in Nigeria that want to upgrade their degree, that want to learn the best practices in maths and physics and whatever, and integrate it into their teaching. Why is this important in what I'm telling you? There are about 220 million young people in our schools in Africa. We are coming. We're not playing. You will get a good education. If you care, you will be covered. Because all these people that are making billions in America, when they see your desire to learn and they see the EdTech solution, guys, is enough. Talk is enough. AI has come. It has leveled the ground. And Amos and Mr. Yinka and the team are saying, let's go. You will get a quality education if you care. Parents, some of you who are weeping and saying, my child goes to government secondary school, there's no hope. There is hope for them. Reach out to us. Let's begin to keep track. Let's begin to get ready. As the funding and the support and so on comes, education will be restored. Healthcare will be restored. Agriculture will be restored. We will bring constant electricity to Africa. This is not the time anymore for talking. This is the time for action. And by God's grace, 15 years from now, the biggest airplanes will be flying out of Nigeria because of what happens. I don't know if anybody in the room felt it, but the next thing I expected to hear was vote for Amos Tarfa. That is our case, guys. Thank you for watching. God bless. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you. I beg, I'm not doing it.